Boy, oh boy, guys, do I have a treat for you today. All right. I'm going to be talking about the two newest fragrances from the brand of Mind Games. And all I can say is this. You want to make sure that you have out your pen and your paper. You guys already know that I'm a fan of this brand. That rhymes. But that's not important. What's important is these two fragrances I want to talk to you guys about. You don't want to miss this. Let's get it. What's going on, YouTube? I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy. On this channel, man, we talk about fragrances and we talk about fashion. So style and grooming. Looking good and smelling great. That's exactly what we want to cover on this channel. So if you're into that, which I hope all of you are. If you're not, that's a whole topic for another day. But make sure you hit subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications as well by hitting that bell icon. So that way, anytime a new video gets uploaded, you'll be one of the first people to get notified. Now, guys, on today's video, I want to be talking about, as I said in the intro, the two newest fragrances from the brand of Mind Games, Prodigy and Mentor. And again, you're in for a treat. So I'm going to run the intro and we're going to jump right into it. So if you want to hear my thoughts on these two new fragrances, keep it locked right here. Let's just do it. Let's just get into it, man. Let's go. Let's go.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we are back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump right into it. The two newest fragrances from Mind Games from the Perfumer Extraordinaire Collection, which is a new collection from Mind Games. I have both of them in hand, man. I don't even know where to start. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I have both fragrances now in hand. Again, Prodigy as well as Mentor, and they're really good. They are really, really good. Again, I have to say. Now, both of these fragrances were sent to me, so again, I appreciate it. I do want to give you guys, you know, what they smell like and just give you my thoughts on them. When it first came out, I only saw the big decanters, and to my knowledge at that time, that was, you know, the size that they were going to come in. But what I have here is the smaller presentations, 100 mLs of both of these fragrances, which I like all my fragrances to be the same size and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm just kind of, you know, like that. I like for everything to kind of have a look, a certain look as well. But anyway, so I have the 100 ml presentations of both these fragrances. And like I said, I just want to tell you guys about them. The presentation that these come in are immaculate. And remember, guys, I do have a code. If you are interested, if you hear something that piques your interest and you want to check them out, I do have a code. It's 10% off with the code Darian10. So I'll make sure I link it down below if you want to check them out. But you do get, you can get, in addition to the decanter or the 100 ml, I think you can get like smaller sizes. I think maybe 2 or 10 ml or something like that. So you don't have to buy a full bottle, but still use that discount code even if you do that. But the presentation, so we're going to start with Prodigy. Both of them come with a sleeve on it, and I took that off just because I don't like to go through that. But this is the sleeve that it comes in. Mentor has a sleeve on it as well, and of course it says Prodigy on the front. Two of the main notes in this is Rose Absolute and Patchouli, and these both are Extrait de Parfum concentrations. I have sampled these, put them on skin just to kind of get a feel for them. They do perform. And if you don't know this by now, of course, fragrances, the performance and just how deep and rich fragrances are usually tend to get better as they macerate even longer. So as they mature, in other words, over the course of time, a lot of times fragrances, to me, that performance gets even better. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So sometimes when it first comes out, that's probably going to be the worst that you're going to experience performance. But already Extrait de Parfum, these are really performing. So here's the actual box that it comes in. Has a little crown there on the front. Honestly, outside of that, nothing else. And then when you open it, the experience really starts. I don't want anything to waste time. Oh my God, I can smell it now. This is fantastic. Look at this bottle. So it's a little bit different from the typical Mind Games bottles. It's almost like a pure snow white with a gradient. It kind of fades as it goes down. But in here, you'll see, guys, you get the two main notes, rose, absolute, and patchouli, a small little bottle of both of those here. You get a little booklet that tells you all about the fragrance, and you also get some test strips here as well. But let me take the bottle out. Man, Jesus, man. Here's my kind of overall little take on Mind Games fragrances. Most of the fragrances in the white or more clear bottles are a little bit more feminine leaning, right? They're unisex. The ones in the black bottles are unisex as well, but the white bottles are a little bit more feminine leaning. You have more florals in those fragrances. You have more citruses and soft woods, whereas with the black bottles, they're a little bit more decadent fragrances, a little bit more those heavier, darker woods, some gourmand notes oftentimes you'll find in those. Again, a little bit more masculine fragrances in the black or darker bottles. But let me just show you this, man. This bottle is absolutely amazing. This is beautiful stuff right here. Again, this one is Prodigy. The two main notes, as I've said before, are rose, absolute, and patchouli, as it says there on the bottle. But some other stuff you get here: sandalwood, vanilla, rose, absolute, cinnamon bark. There's like a latte accord here. Some very lactonic accords as well. This stuff, oh my gosh, guys, this stuff I don't really. This is good. This is so good. Now again, this one is unisex. This one, some people are going to smell it and say it may be a little feminine leaning because of the rose in here. But this stuff is fantastic. Then you get that creaminess, so you definitely pick up the sandalwood here. You definitely pick up a lot of those lactonic notes and accords that is in here. That latte accord in here is just phenomenal. It's standout. Now, this one does remind me a little bit. I did a review of a fragrance from Amouage called Guidance, the new one that just came out. And it has some similarities to that fragrance, but this has more of those, as I just said, those creamier, kind of milky lactonic accords in here. This is so good. Trust me, guys, this is one you just gonna have to put on your skin. Now, you can share this with your lady. They may justify you, if you want to get a whole bottle, an entire bottle, justify the price point. You say, baby, this for us, we gonna share this. You know what I'm saying? That's just my little hint or my little tip from me to you. You know what I mean? I can't say that I haven't done that a time or two in my life. But definitely one that a male or a female can definitely rock. Again, anytime you hear the note of rose, it is going to be a fragrance, in my opinion, that is very unisex. In most cases, very unisex, and that is definitely the case here. But what does it feature? One of my favorite notes, and that is patchouli. There's patchouli here in abundance to kind of balance out some of those very milky and, sandalwood and latte and all that kind of stuff. It gives those very creamy elements to this fragrance. So that patchouli really serves as a kind of neutralizer of that. So I want to spray this and just kind of give you guys a little bit more on it. This is, look at the sprayer. Nice controlled atomizer. The cap does snap into place. Oh my gosh, this is good. Guys, this is good. This is good. I mean, again, right out of the gate, rose, you get sandalwood and cinnamon. Rose, sandalwood, and cinnamon is what I get right out of the gate. So it is creamy out of the gate. You do get the rose there, and you get that cinnamon. This is so freaking good. Now, as it dries down, because I have worn it, I can tell you a little bit more. It does start to get very, very creamy. The latte kind of accord in here kind of reminds me of a fragrance I smell in a fragrance called Coffee Break from Maison Margiela. So it's not coffee, but lattes are a little bit more creamy to me than just coffee. You know what I mean? So not as much of that coffee bean stuff, but more creamy, milky kind of an experience with it. And that's what you get here. And then when it dries down, there's an abundance of patchouli in here as well. Guys, this stuff is fantastic. It is fantastic. That is all I have to say. I want to show you the bottle again. Let me get a close up on it because it's Absolutely gorgeous. You can see there's mind games there right around the cap. Again, it has a very, like I said, a gradient look. So it goes from like a very like pearl white and it gets almost clear at the bottom. Stuff is amazing. It really is, man. I don't really know what else to say about this, but it's definitely standout. You just got to put your nose on it. Check it out. Again, you can get samples of it as well if you don't want to invest in a full bottle, but it's really good. It's something that you need to try. Again, I know for guys, this fragrance isn't going to be, some guys don't really like fragrances that are more unisex or has a little bit of a feminine lean to it. You know, to each his or her own, but I am telling you guys, you can rock this. We can rock this, and I'm definitely gonna rock it. I know the missus is gonna wanna wear this one quite a bit as well because she loves the guidance fragrance as well from Homage, and it does have some similarities to that, but that is good. So that one is Prodigy, and I don't even want to talk about Mentor. There's a similar sleeve that it comes in, but this is the box. This time, of course, it's black with the crown at the top. Same thing when you open it up. It highlights the two primary notes, and those are in the smaller bottles, which is the Boya Oud and Amber. So this one is more about the Boya Oud and Amber in this fragrance. The best way for me to describe Boya Oud is just really smooth. Really, really smooth. No rough edges at all with that particular note. And here is the bottle. This stuff is so good. And this one is called Mentor. So you get some caramel up top, lemon, plum, coffee, amber. You get the Boya Oud in here as well. And this stuff is just, guys, this stuff is next level. I want to tell you, when you talk about sexy, and that's the case with most of the fragrances from this collection that's in the black bottles or the dark bottles, they are very sexy fragrances, man. These folks over at Mind Games know what they're doing when you talk about creating a very sensual and sexy scent profile. Again, let's check that sprayer out. Just good stuff, man. Let's see. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not talking about this fragrance. I'm not gonna do it. So that caramel, and they listed it as salted caramel. I can see why. If it's, you know, it definitely has a kind of salty nuance to it with the caramel up top. This is good. A little bit of a citrus hit when you first open it. But then it goes, after 2 minutes, it goes into this very sensual fragrance. You know, the caramel is sweet, of course, but it has that salty element to it. A slight lemony touch. And then you get that plum as well. And I didn't even mention that as a note of dark plum here. It is so sexy. The plum is very juicy here. Very, very seductive. Again, these folks over at Mind Games know what they're doing. If you talk about a brand that has some of the sexiest fragrance creations that still have a very mass appeal to them, they've mastered that. This is so good. Yeah. This is so good. When it starts to dry down, guys, you're gonna have some coffee, like a coffee bean kind of accord that joins the party here to my nose. Tonka bean gives it an additional amount of sweetness as well. And of course, as I said, the Boya Oud, but it's just really, really smooth. This really to me gives it an even sexier, more masculine touch, the Boya Oud. Like I said, and it's blended to perfection, so it's not like, you know, it's not gonna really stand out to you, but to a trained nose, you can really pick it up that is there. But again, the way I just described the Boya Oud here is just super, super smooth. Again, on the dry down with the tonka bean, a little coffee, kind of an ambery, some ambery touches to it as well. I'm gonna do some full reviews on these. This is just kind of my initial impressions, but both of them, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, are home runs. Both of them are home runs. I have worn them on skin. They were both really good on the performance thing. They're very sensual. So it's not like super huge projectors, but they project pretty well. But they stick around for quite a bit of time. And like I said, I want to do full reviews on these. Guys, it's worth checking out. That's all I can say. It's worth checking out. At least do yourself a favor and get samples of them, especially for guys. The Prodigy, I absolutely love it. I know some guys that are going to be a little bit, you know, kind of out of their comfort zone as far as, because it is a unisex fragrance. But I'm telling you, just try it on your skin. Try it on your skin. You'll see what I'm talking about. Both of them are fantastic. I obviously, for me as a guy, the Mentor is a little bit, I'll give a little bit more of a higher ranking too, but they both are fantastic fragrances. They retail for $475, but they are extrait de Parfums. But again, you can get 10% off if you use the code Darian10, and I'll make sure I'll link it down below where you can do that. Again, even if you don't get a bottle, get a sample, guys, and try it. I do sincerely think they're both worth a sample and put your nose on them. Sincerely, two amazing fragrances from the brand of Mind Games, but to me, I'm not surprised. But that's my time. I just wanted to kind of give you guys my initial impressions of both these fragrances. Have you had a chance to put your nose on these fragrances? If so, what is your opinion of Prodigy and Mentor from Mind Games? I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. Now, as always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use the information or just find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darian. I'm the BowTie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.